Okay, this video is about how to create the invoices. I had created a couple of other videos, and the way I usually did it, then I figured out a way to do it a little bit quicker, so I'm having to redo this video. Anyway, that's just for me. The first things you need to make sure you've done before you create the invoices is that all the invoice payments need to be up to date and current, so you don't create invoices showing that they still haven't paid when they have. And the other thing you need to make sure is that all the calendar entries for the month that you're invoicing have been marked complete. And that should have been done anyway, but those are the things that need to have been done. And I'll just show you how to get into making the invoices. Down here, manage invoice is actually how to manage your invoices that you've created, and the only way I've found to create invoices is to go into each customer individually and create the invoice. So come up here, customer and properties, or down here to customer and properties, go to double click. Okay, the one that I've got set up that looks like it hasn't built is the Rowan one. So you either double click up here or click edit selected customer. So I'm going to double click up there. It's going to bring up the customer. Come down here, invoice properties. Click show all properties. And if it says show due properties, just click show due properties until you see show all properties, and then whenever it should show up down here. Or you can click select all. You want to do invoice from history. You want to do select all, because you have to select all these, so you're invoicing what's been selected, and these are the calendar entries that have been marked complete. If they're not marked complete, they won't be in here. So invoice selected. You've now created an invoice. If you say no, you can go back and get into a different way if you want to then come out and print at a different time. But what I do is usually go yes, I want to go look at it. Okay, and it's going to show you the Rowan or whatever they had to pronounce their name, invoice. Now, what I would do would be is I would, when I'm doing this, I would actually click up here and have it to be a larger window, but this way I'm trying to show you all of when I'm videotaping it, the whole window, what the whole window looks like right now. So this is the invoice information here. These are all the different times someone went to the property, and you'll see the only things that have a price on it right now is the fertilize, and everything else is marked to 0 because Ron is a contract person. So I don't have the amount showing up in the down here in the amount per visit. Amount per visit would be under unit cost, and I don't have that showing up because they're a contract. I don't want to charge them for every time you go out. I just want to charge them once. Okay. So what I would normally do is, let me just see how much you get on when I do it big. Pretty close. Okay. As you can see, the bigger version of it, we need to move these around up and down. So I'm going to go back to the smaller screen and move them around because you can't see this other the buttons on the right hand side. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these up. Now it's easier to move them up because you can on the bigger screen because they're just out of order, and I just like to put them back in order. But it's easier to do it on the bigger screen because you can see them move up. But I'm going to do it on the smaller screen so you can see all the buttons that I'm pushing. So let me bring it back down to the smaller screen. Okay, so what I do is I would go down here and pick the very bottom one that I want to move up. It's anything that's out of order, this is how I move it up. And then you're not going to see it go up, but I just click on it a bunch of times until it now should be first one up there. Yep. So let's go back down to the bottom, pick the one there. I'm going to move that up a bunch of times. Now that should show on the very first. So there's one more thing down here. Okay, you fertilized as well on this date, so I move that up a bunch of times. Okay, and I don't want it to be first, and so on the other screen it's easier, so you wouldn't actually move it all the way up too many times. So I'm going to put it to be second on this date. Now if you notice that we had another heading down here, because if you create two calendar entries it makes two headings. So what I usually do is I just select that one and then I just delete it. And you can't delete it up here, you have to actually delete it down here, which is kind of weird. So you have to come down here, see it is actually selected in this box where you're going to edit it and everything, and I just push delete. Okay. Then you go back up here and to the very first entry for the month, and this is where I put the price in for the whole month for the Rouen or whatever it is, and their price is $140. And then I click save, update, and then click save down here again to save it. Now the other thing I usually do for everyone except for a few people, and I'll include a list of the people that I don't include it, is I create a fuel surcharge. So I come down here, and if you click save, you'll get a new empty box, or you can just say add new and you'll get a box with nothing in it. Otherwise it would have been like selected like this, and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to add something in, but it won't let you. So you would just click add new like that. So I just cut and paste fuel surcharge, and so I don't have to type it all in when I'm doing the invoices. And I just tab over here and put $5. Go over here. Now to put the quantity in, you can either, it won't let you delete that. I don't know why. So if you just backspace, it turns into a 1. Why, I have no idea, but it works. So then come down here and click save and update, and then save and update. Save again, and you notice the fuel surcharge actually got added to the very bottom right there. Okay, so now this invoice here is ready to be printed. If you save it, if it wants you to save anything, if you change anything, you'll have the red underline underneath it. But you want to save this box first and then this box second. Okay, so now it's saved and it's ready to be printed. So I click print, and then detailed invoice without quantities with previous balance. It's the one in the middle that is the shortest. So I click on that. Do I want to print the item descriptions? No, because I don't put anything in the item descriptions. If you did, then you would want to say yes. Otherwise, I just say no. But it's up to you how you want to do if you want to put things in the item descriptions. Okay, so this is the invoice for one. You notice that you had two things on the 7th, and you'll see how they show up over here. The one being for the month, and then the fertilize, and then everything else is 0. And you'll see that it figured out the totals and everything, saying they had they didn't owe anything. I don't know why it doesn't say that there was a payment there, because there was a payment and it should have been showing that, but anyway, weird. So normally I just look at it real quick to make sure it looks the way I want, just make sure, double check that these are in the right order. Again, sometimes they're not, and sometimes I catch it before I print it. So then I just push print, and then I push close.